Very few nonprofit organizations survive to mark their centennial year. Yet the San Angelo Chamber of Commerce is celebrating 100 years of exceptional service to the businesses of the Concho Valley and promotion of San Angelo itself throughout 2016. The San Angelo Chamber is as strong as it's ever been. Membership at a high point, strong financial reserves, an architecturally recognized building that is the envy of similar organizations, and highly recognized and effective programs that have elevated our chamber into an elite class of the 5 most recognized chambers of commerce out of 240 statewide. So what has caused the chamber to not only survive but excel throughout its first century? The answers are similar to what makes San Angelo, Texas, a unique and outstanding community: industrious and friendly people, and an inclination toward quality and success. Let's look at the record. The Chamber's oldest ledger on hand shows that there were some starts and stops toward organizing the business community as early as 1908. Organizations such as the Gentlemen's Business Club and the Subscriptions to Commerce formed loosely organized efforts around the turn of the century designed to serve traditional mercantile stores, livery stables, and banks springing up around town, as a counterpoint to what San Angelo was known for: saloons and brothels. All of these came together in December of 1915 when the San Angelo Chamber and Board of City Development was permanently chartered and recognized, and the first office operated at 8 West Beauregard in January 1916. We were in business. A lot of history had already taken place by this time in our prospering community. The Chamber touted a preponderance of sheep and goat ranches throughout the Concho Valley beginning in 1916, and the industries of wool and mohair, cotton farming, and cattle that continue to drive the local economy even today. And perhaps the first energy boom that the Chamber grabbed hold of to promote the city's proximity to liquid gold was in 1923. The Chamber and townfolk lost the battle to Lubbock to attract Texas Technical College in 1923. By 1925, our plan of action included establishing our own college right here in San Angelo. Local contributions and a self-funded tax led to the establishment of San Angelo Junior College in 1928 on Oak Street. We should add that our award-winning Angelo State University is now a division of Texas Tech, boasting a beautiful campus on 268 acres with over 100 majors and a record enrollment of 8,521. The San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo was the brainchild of J. Culberson Deal, the manager of the San Angelo Chamber Board of City Development in 1931. He and other business leaders thought San Angelo would benefit more from a spring stock show than a fair. Today, the livestock show is the second in the nation in total entries, and the professional rodeo attracts the top performers in the country every year, with a purse in the top 10 in the nation. Another economic anchor for San Angelo that the Chamber and its leadership helped establish is Goodfellow Air Force Base, which celebrates its 75th anniversary this year as the Chamber celebrates its centennial. Community leader Robert Carr led the effort to establish Goodfellow Field to train pilots in 1940 and 41, leading to the establishment of the San Angelo Army Airfield to train bombardiers in 1942. Pilots were trained until 1958, when cryptologic intelligence training began at Goodfellow. The base now trains over 14,000 students a year from all branches of our military and ISR, along with leaders from more than 30 of our allied nations around the world. Following World War II, things moved at a much faster pace, and the Chamber was busy promoting economic recovery and advancement. Aviation was a focus in 1946, as Westland Airlines was established here with local ownership led by M.D. Bryant. Still championing the wool industry, the Chamber promoted the first Miss Wool of America contest, taking place in 1952, later to become the nationally televised Miss Wool pageant, which continued through 1972. And what was a forerunner to the present-day Concho Christmas celebration that lights up the Concho River with over 3 million lights? Why, the BCD and Chamber's efforts to purchase all new Christmas lights in downtown San Angelo in 1954. You probably remember the Energy Expo promoted by the Chamber in 2014. So what was the date of the Chamber's first oil show? 1955. Always concerned about both flooding and water supply for our arid region, the Chamber took the lead in promoting the Three Rivers Dam, now Twin Buttes Reservoir, through Congress in the 1950s. The 1950s also found Chamber leadership recruiting primary jobs to the region with the attraction of the Goodyear Proving Grounds in 1958. The Ethicon plant, a division of Johnson & Johnson, was attracted in 1963 and opened in 1964, built partially underground to protect it against foreign aggression. The 1960s saw other continued growth as the Chamber worked on transportation initiatives such as the North-South Interstate that resulted in the 4-lane U.S. Highway 87. And don't forget the Chamber's efforts to build an east-west throughway that would later become Houston Hart Expressway and Loop 306, with a lot of effort by State Representative Rob Janelle. 1969 closed the decade with the San Angelo Chamber of Commerce helping establish the Texas A&M Research Center and playing an instrumental role in transitioning the tuberculosis sanatorium at Carlsbad to the San Angelo State Hospital in 1969 and 1970, now the State-Supported Living Center at Carlsbad, employing over 700. The 1970s brought another decade of growth, as the Chamber was busy attracting and retaining companies such as Levi Strauss and Mitsubishi, helping General Telephone Company to expand, courting employers to come to Mathis-Field Airport, and helping announce a brand new indoor mall in 1978. 1978 was also the year that the Chamber moved its offices into the new convention center, where it stayed until January 2004. It then partnered with the San Angelo Health Foundation and TxDOT to create and occupy, along with the foundation, the Visitor Center, overlooking the Concho River. 1979 closed the decade with the Chamber starting the Better Business Bureau and incubating it until it established its own roots, and starting the formal effort to save Goodfellow when it was targeted many years before the first base realignment and closure effort in 1991. The 1980s saw the establishment of the Convention and Visitors Bureau at the Chamber through the city's collection of the state hotel-motel occupancy tax. 1982 was also the year that Deanna Mayfield was elected to the Chamber Board. She later became the first female to lead the Board of Directors of the Chamber. She paved the way for many others to follow her leadership, including 2016 Board Chair Jamie Aiken. The Chamber took the lead in supporting the first effort to establish the half-cent sales tax for economic development in 1989. After 3 failed attempts, the half-cent sales tax passed in 1999 and was renewed in 2004, all with leadership and support from the Chamber. The decade of the 1990s saw regular advocacy trips to Washington, D.C. begin in support of Goodfellow. Economic development continued as a focus of the Chamber as Sitel opened one of its largest call centers in the United States right here, and Blue Cross Blue Shield announced its San Angelo Processing Center in 1999. And speaking of job retention, the Chamber's Transportation Committee partnered with local elected officials to save the tracks when the South Orient Railroad announced possible abandonment of the rail line through San Angelo in 1998. The now state-owned tracks are leased to Grupo Mexico and operated profitably by its American subsidiary Texas Pacifico. The first decade of the new millennium saw plenty of themes continue: retaining and expanding Goodfellow, expansion of the regionally successful West Texas Legislative Summit, and more. And some significant expansions and new employers were added to the primary job mix. And a large new event was promoted by the San Angelo Chamber of Commerce, the Showdown in San Angelo drag boat races. 2009 through 2012 found the Chamber in Washington, D.C. often, successfully supporting the most capital improvement projects at Goodfellow in many years. And the last 5 years, where do we start? The new Business Resource Center was established in the old Coca-Cola bottling plant, bringing all economic development entities into one space for increased synergy and cooperation. The advent of fracking and horizontal drilling created an energy serve that drove the economy at twice its normal growth rate until late 2014, and an unprecedented hotel expansion bringing over 1,000 new first-class lodging rooms to the city. 2015 brought an exciting end to San Angelo's 5-year quest to win the Air Force's Altus Award, given to the training-based judge to have the best community-based relationship. Is the Chamber claiming credit for all of San Angelo's successes? Certainly not. It's all about partnerships, and no one knows that better than the Chamber. Has the Chamber been a strong, instrumental force in the promotion and development of the community over the past 100 years? Absolutely. We can't conclude this story without a little bragging on you. After all, it's your Chamber. Whether you've joined us this year, or your company is one of the employers who have faithfully supported the Chamber for a century. The Chamber is a 4-star chamber accredited by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, one of 3% of chambers nationally. You are 1,130 members and almost 1,800 contacts strong, above average for communities our size. Our plan of action is designed to serve you, the members, while growing the economy and promoting the community to everyone's economic benefit. The Chamber accomplishes between 85 and 90% of its measurable goals every year. The San Angelo Chamber has a distinguished 100-year history of accomplishments. The Chamber operates successfully because of the broad support and financial investments of you, our members. And finally, we have a lot of work to do, obstacles to overcome, and hopefully, successes to celebrate. Are you ready? Let's re-up for another 100.